We're back now, starting strong in 2025. Codie Sanchez is the financial expert who has more than 7 million followers across social media. She has a new book, the instant New York Times bestseller, Street Millionaire, that holds the keys to owning your own small business. Codie, so excited to have you here. You have a lot of fans here at GMA. And first question, what is a Street Millionaire?
Listen, this is the person down your block that has the biggest house that you'd never think got there by selling sprinklers, right? They're these everyday small businesses that ain't that sexy, but they actually make a ton of money. And I think we were sold a little bit of a lie that the way to make money is big fancy things, when in fact it's probably your local laundromat owner, handyman, or roofing owner.
Like George Jefferson just moving on up from the laundromats. There you go.
That's right.
And you say the best way to become a millionaire is to own a small business. And that now is the best time to take one over.
You're right. Well, crazy stat, actually. 60% of all millionaires are owners. They own businesses. So if you want to become a millionaire, this is kind of on the path. The other thing that's really interesting, for the first time ever, we have a generational wealth creation event. We have baby boomers who own more than 60% of businesses. They're getting older. They don't want to run those things anymore, but they're profitable and they've been running for 10 or 20 years. So it's the next generation's shot at taking over some of those bad boys.
And what is your advice for somebody who's looking for a business to take over? How do they find one?
Yeah, well, finding is really interesting. I kind of think there's 3 ways to do it. First, let's say that you have a business. Then you do what's called a personal P&L review, which basically means anything that costs you money, right? So your vendors that you have as a liability, you turn into an asset by saying, what if I owned part of that? What if I bought it? The second way is, let's say you're like, Codie, must be nice, I don't own a business, and you work somewhere, maybe even GMA. Then what do? You talk to the vendors of the company. Where is there a small enough business with a small owner that you could potentially own part of or all of and take over? And then finally, I call it the 1 mile radius, which means you do something kind of rare these days. If you were to walk in, even stores around New York City, and you were to ask the person at the front desk, hey, like, this is an amazing shop, you own this place? I bet you would surprise yourself how many times you can get right to the owner. And so you go and you door knock and you talk to owners, and then you figure out if there's a play.
Yeah, put in a little work, do a little research behind it. But a lot of people are in debt, right? And they have a hard time, making a change professionally or financially in their lives. So what advice do you have to make a change?
Well, one, not all debt has to be bad. One of the cool things about buying a business is when you go and buy a business, you actually use the balance sheet or the money the business has to buy it instead of your own. You go to buy a house, what happens? There's like, how much money you make, Michael? And you're like, ooh, you got a little colonoscopy there, and they got to know everything about you. When you go to buy a small business, they want to know about the business. So let's say you don't have a lot. That's okay, because if the business is healthy, you can use the business's assets to buy it. Or, last little stat for you today, is that more than 50% of small businesses are sold with what's called seller financing, where the seller uses future profits from the business to buy it. Now, you gotta make it a win-win. We don't want to take advantage of anybody. But this is underrated, and I think the big guys on Wall Street, they don't want us to know this.
Well, cat's out the bag right now. You just told everybody's secrets out there.
Whoops.
Well, you said you have a lot of fans here. Our EP Simone was so excited to have you in today. She bought the book, and in the book, you got a little clip. You mentioned GMA in the clip, and a little passage in the book. But we appreciate you. Thank you. Great advice, and we'd love to have you back.
Well, I will be here, and maybe next time you'll have to buy a business. Straight hand car washes.
Hey, you know what?
I
got an investor right here, Fonzie. You and I, we're in it together, buddy. You give me that head nod. Thank you so much,
Are you kidding me?
We
Thanks for having me.
appreciate you.